We're camping here at Lake Norman State Park where all the colors are popping this spring. We've been working up an appetite hiking all these gorgeous lakefront trails. Pasta sounds really good, but on a Blackstone with marinara sauce? Really? Camp Cook Brian has the answer, and it's yes, and it's super easy. If you saw our last video, where we showed you how our Blackstone griddle is assembled, we're in the same camp spot. It's just a couple days later, and maybe 30 degrees warmer. This time, at the end of the video, I'll show you how I clean and season the griddle, especially after a tomato-based cook like this. This recipe will take about 5 minutes to prep and maybe 20 minutes to cook. Just giving you a little timestamp, as some of the cooking footage has been sped up. Once again, we're using fresh chicken breasts for this recipe. But we often use pre-cooked rotisserie-style chicken pieces in a sealable bag, you know, the kind that you find in your deli section at your local grocery store. Those bags of chicken are super easy to use, especially when you're camping. They'll turn your prep time to 0 and shorten your cook time 5 minutes or so. But today we're using fresh chicken because that's what we've got. The recipe is in the description below. It makes about 8 servings. We'll start with the oil. Once again, I'm using avocado oil. Olive oil would add a little Italian flavor to this dish, but this is what I got, so this is what I'm using. I'll also be adding a little oil later on during the cook, just to make sure nothing sticks. Then a healthy spoonful of garlic. We love our garlic, so we put a bunch in. I like to add a little heat to my marinara sauce, so I add some red pepper flakes. Nothing overpowering, just enough to complement the tomato sauce. For the salt, I like using Johnny's. It's something I grew up with in my family. During our travels, if we find it, I'll buy it in bulk. But we also have purchased it on Amazon when we get low. It's just a seasoning salt. If you got something else that you really like, heck, use it. Next is the Italian seasoning. Whatever you got, give it a good shake. A little bit of sugar will help tame the acid in the tomato sauce, and it also will help brown the chicken when we're cooking it. So we'll add a teaspoon or so to the mix. A little bit of black pepper to help balance out the flavors, and that should be about it. So yeah, give it a good stir and let it sit to kind of marinate while we clean up and get ready for the cook. Oh, daggone, we did forget something. Need a splash of soy sauce for some umami. And it does say all-purpose seasoning. There you go. Just give it another mix and we're ready to move on to the cook. So I got both burners on medium to get the griddle warmed up. Then I spread some oil around with a paper towel to keep the griddle top seasoned, but also to clean it. Once it starts smoking, we're ready. Getting hungry? So here we go. We'll put a little more oil down and spread it around, and we'll dump the chicken on top of the cooktop. If this was pre-cooked chicken in a bag, All we'd have to do was warm it up a little bit before we put the tortellinis on. But this is raw chicken, so we're going to have to thoroughly cook it. Chicken's looking pretty good, so it's time for the next step, the tortellinis. Well, let's move the chicken to the side and make some room. So here's the secret to this dish. It's fresh pasta. You can use just about any kind of fresh pasta you can find. This is a family-sized bag, so it's going to serve a bunch. So we'll add a little bit of oil to this pasta, and we'll try to get it browned up a little bit. Move it around to get evenly coated. Get ready for the marinara. We're going to use a can of marinara that we like. It's not glass because, you know, when you go camping, you don't want too much glass around. And then spread it all around and get all those tortellinis evenly coated. Once they start steaming, it's time to mix the chicken in. And then we'll need another hit of marinara. Get that all mixed in and steaming. And then to deglaze the cooktop, we're going to use some red wine. But you could use water or chicken broth. Just something to loosen all that goodness off of the cooktop and mix it in. Just for the record, we used about 10 ounces of this sauce out of this can. You certainly could use more, and you certainly could use less. It's really up to you. I'm getting hungry. It's looking good. It's time to plate. Let's go. All right, we get some bonus coverage. I figured I'd show you how easy this Blackstone is to clean, especially after a messy cook like this. Just a couple of squirts of clean water, and as soon as it starts coming up fairly clear, I'll take a paper towel and just start scrubbing on it a little bit until it really is pretty clean looking. When your griddle is seasoned properly, water doesn't hurt it too bad, but obviously, you've got to re-oil it after every cook. Lay down a nice thin coat, get it smoking hot, and then turn it off. Do one more quick wipe after it's smoking hot just to get any residual oil off, and it is ready to go for your next cook. Just that easy.